Oh, hi. It's my intelligent look. Is it working for me? Alright. Actually, I can't see anything. Those are reading glasses when I have them on there. Oh, wait a second. Gotta get the most important part of my day started, y'all. Alright, that's the last of the Mondavi, which I actually got another bottle of it last night, so. But I got another one I'm gonna try too. Alright. So, welcome once again to Drunk Cooking, everyone. For those tuning in later or in a few moments. Today is a creamy lemon, butter, garlic, deliciousness chicken recipe that is really simple to make. It's almost like a one-pan recipe. I'm going to be making some spaghetti with it. Spaghetti noodles as my pasta because that's what I have. And while it doesn't pair with it, I'm going to put some frozen corn with it too. Not in the thing separately, just because, again, that's what I have. I'm trying to use what I have in my kitchen because your boy ain't got that much money right now. So, but that's also for a lot of other people. So before I get into that, oh yeah, that's good. It's really good. Let me go check on something real quick because I'm not that familiar with YouTube streaming, so I want to make sure that I got everything going here. All right, cool. All right, yeah, it looks good. Looks good. Okay, so let's take a look at our ingredient list here. All right, so I've already washed and dried the chicken, okay? And then here's everything else. It's not an expansive ingredient list today. I mean, really, this is all just for the sauce. Well, this too. So this is all just for the sauce. The pasta we're just going to boil. Same thing for the butter, or the, sorry, the corn. And then actually this is for the sauce too. So literally, the ingredients are for the sauce. This is just the chicken. So we're not going to do much to the chicken. We're just going to put some salt and pepper on it, saute it, and then take that out and build our sauce out of it. Then we'll add those back in, and because we want that to cook in it. So we'll slightly undercook them. Not much, just maybe like a minute or two, just because you really don't want that thing. You know, we want to be safe, especially for amateur cooks or just getting started. But you have to balance that with overcooking it. So. Then we've got the corn over here. We're just going to boil that off too. So really that's simple. I mean, I've already got my pans out. So it's going to be quick and dirty, quick and easy, which means I'll probably be ranting a bit more than normal. All right, so let's get this ready. I'm hoping that the chat works because I'm using the same OBS Studio to stream to YouTube Live, and this is very new to me. Twitch I got a handle on, but YouTube Live is a bit different. So I'm hoping that if y'all are talking in the chat, I'll get it on my OBS Studio. So we'll see. If not, then, you know, I apologize. So I'll go and check because I've got it on another PC here. All right, first things first. I want to get my water going, because that's going to take the longest, to be honest. It always takes a hot minute. We'll do the small bowl for our... Okay, we'll use the small bowl for our corn. Woo-wee! Man, on Monday, y'all missed it. If you weren't here, man, I got hammered on that day. I drank almost a full bottle of wine that day. Woohoo! Fun times. Now I'm gonna do the whole thing of pasta, probably half the box. You know, I said that on Monday with that chicken casserole, and I ended up doing the whole damn box, so. I mean, we'll see, right? Alright, it's going. Let's get the smaller one for our corn. Because I'm going to serve it separately. No, that's not true. I mean, okay, so one of the things here that we want to make sure is so that everything comes up at the same time. So to do that, we're going to make sure that we time our food out. Now, I mentioned this on Monday, and I'm probably going to mention a lot of these things over and over again just because I feel like they're important. Plus, you never know. I mean, people don't tune into every broadcast, at least not yet. Let me go check to see something, see how the stream's going. I'm just checking to see if think it's working. All right, well, we'll see. If not, you know, it's a learning experience. This is still a new channel, so, all right. Promise, I'm not going to keep going back there. Okay, so next thing up is going to be the chicken. So if that's going to take us the longest. And to be honest, we have to do that first before we can do anything else. So, most important, get that out of the way. All right, so, ooh, careful. How's everybody doing today? It's a nice day here, man. Northwest Indiana, the weather is freaking gorgeous out. All right, so we're trimming this up just like we did yesterday. So we want to get rid of all the fat, but not cut off a lot of the meat. So make sure you cut as close to it as possible. There we go. In the kitchen, I mean, this is your money right here. This is your product. So you want to make sure you get as much of it as possible. And we'll flatten this as well, just like we did yesterday. Actually, today I'm going to teach you how to butterfly because my fiance really likes it when I butterfly the chicken. So we're going to butterfly some of this chicken. Actually, you know what? I don't think I will. Because I got to be able to fit all this in one pot, and I don't think I can if I butterfly it, because it's going to take up too much real estate in that thing. And you don't need to use this many chicken breasts, but I try to do a high protein diet just because, I mean, not at the moment due to health concerns, but I normally work out 6 days a week. So when you're working out, you actually need more protein in your diet than the 5.5 ounces that the FDA says that we need every day. Okay, let me wash my hands. Okay. Let's see. What do I need? What do I need? You know what? No, I'll use that one. Okay. Maybe. Do I want to use the saucepan? No. The thing is, I think we'll use this one because I gotta have a lid. I can have a lid for it. That way I can have these things cook instead of having it cook. No, because I'm gonna thicken it up. Okay, so no, I changed my mind. All right, so chaotic. And that's good. Okay. Let's see. I need mallet. All right, so just like yesterday, remember, this one's for tenderizing, okay? This one's for flattening. We don't need to tenderize the chicken, it's fairly tender already, okay? So, let's do our, all right, flatten this sucker out. I'm beating my meat every time. You're gonna get tired of the same dad jokes, okay? Seriously. Don't, when you do this, don't just kill this thing, okay? Because seriously, you're gonna end up shredding the meat, okay? So just try to do it consistently. Oh no! My poor camera. Yeah, that'll work. That one was really thick. These are the freaking mutant chicken breasts, man. Chickens aren't supposed to be this big. You ever go and get the organic ones? They're a lot smaller. I tell you what. Son. All right, so now we want to season them. All right, so for those not in the know, this is, it's going to be a 3-to-1 salt and pepper mixture. That way it's ready ahead of time. I would definitely recommend for those starting out to, do this because it's easier. But that being said, there is something to be said to be able to control every aspect of this thing. So there is nothing wrong with doing it separately. This is just a little easier for me, and this is usually the right amount of mix. If I know I'm going to need a lot more salt, then I'll have salt separate from the pepper. Okay. Because you're kind of restricted to this. Like if you need more salt, but it's already got too much pepper in it, then you can't use this anymore, and you gotta, because that's why we taste along along the way. Okay, so remember, we're going to keep it up above this thing, grind it between our hands so we have an even distribution of the salt and pepper, okay? Perfect. And we're only doing salt and pepper. Notice, I'm not going to use this hand to pick up the chicken because I don't want cross-contamination. This hand stays dry. This hand I will because I'm not doing anything with it. All right? The reason we salt is not to make it taste salty. If you do the right amount of salt, it actually makes it taste more of whatever it is. We're seasoning it. We're not salting it, okay? We want to make sure that we can bring out as much flavor as possible in our food. All right, let's get this sucker going because this will afford me some more time to drink, which is so important. Do your dishes along the way. That way you don't have a ton of them to do at the end of the day, okay? Now I'm going to clean this board off just because we're going to need it later to cut the chicken. Now I'm not baking anything today, so you guys will actually see the finished product. Like Monday when I streamed, I couldn't show the finished product because I had to bake it, which I don't want to make everybody sit around and wait and listen to me rant about shit for, 20, 30 minutes, so that's not any kind of fun. So, I didn't make anybody wait for that, so. All right, don't add, let's get the other cams going. So we want to make sure, where's it at? Where's my button? There it is. We want to make sure that we don't add the oil too soon, okay? We're going to need all of these over here because this is all for the sauce. Okay. Butter. We'll add the parsley after. More drink. Okay. Ooh, that's good. Man, that's good. Woo, God, I love wine. Woo. Woo. Let's see. I know that's not up to temp yet. So I want to say one thing. While we're waiting for this to come up, there are ways to make this a bit more healthy. Since it's creamy, it usually indicates heavy cream, which we are using heavy cream today. I don't have that much. I just wanted to finish it off because I don't use heavy cream that often. So the only reason I had this giant freaking thing, this is a lot, okay? Cream lasts a hell of a long time, by the way. But the only reason I got that was because I was making desserts for a catering event. So I used that to make my own whipped topping. So, which is stupidly easy to do. And I can teach you how to do that too if you guys would like. But I want to use it. Again, we're trying to use our ingredients. That way we limit the amount of food waste. Americans, most of our garbage is actually food waste. And so we do need to be, I'm definitely, trying to do what I can to minimize my impact on the environment, but there's only so much one individual can do. But one of those things is limiting food waste. Plus, it saves you on money, to be honest. I mean, let's just get it down to economics. I mean, if I'm wasting my own food, that's money gone. All right, I'll go back into that in a second. Let's get the, all right, so I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons. This is a non-stick pan, so it's already, but we wanna make sure, it's already a non-stick pan, but we wanna make sure that that's down there. Okay, so remember, get it hot enough, put it away. Now I'm gonna overload this pan. You should not do this, but I'm trying to make sure that you guys get as much going on. This is an overloaded pan, for anybody who's wondering. And I splooged some oil back here, so I want to make sure I clean it up as soon as I can. That way it's not harder to do later. It'll bake into my countertop there, and that's no bueno. All right, so let me turn it down because that's going to be too hot. We want to make sure that our chicken, we're going to try to get this up. All right, my water's boiled for my corn, but I don't want to put that on there yet because it's nowhere near ready to go. And I don't want that to be cold. So we're just going to turn that down so it doesn't cook off a lot of that water. Turn my vent fan on. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm testing this out to see if that vent fan is going to drown everything out. Hopefully not. Oh, that's good. So, what was I saying earlier? Oh yeah, so a healthier way to do this is instead of using the heavy cream, which is very thick, and with this sauce that we're making, the lemon butter garlic sauce and cream sauce, we're actually wanting it to be thick. We don't want it to be a watery sauce. So what do we do if we want to lower the calories? Because remember, the part of this channel is to eat healthy, even without having to eat healthy food. So how do we make this healthy or healthier? Save on calories, right? We use milk, and a lot of you probably didn't do that. But we're going to use milk. Using milk will allow you to drop the calories because there's far less fat in milk. I wouldn't recommend fat-free milk. 2% milk is fine, just because fat-free milk is like water. But because of that, now that I mentioned that, your sauce will end up being very watery. How do we fix that? A slurry. What is a slurry? A slurry is water, just a little bit of water combined with cornstarch. Cornstarch does have calories, but less calories than milk. It's also considered a carb, so be aware if that's an issue for you. That's one of the things you're going to deal with. Some people are like the high-fat, low-carb diets are really big right now, so which I'm not a fan of. But if that's your thing, then stick with the heavy cream. You're fine. You're just going to have more calories. But if not, if you're okay with using a little bit of slurry, it's not a lot of calories. Like cornstarch doesn't have a lot of calories, but it is cornstarch, so it's used to thicken sauces without having to add a flavored ingredient to it. So, and you just basically add a little bit of water to the cornstarch so that you don't add the cornstarch directly to whatever sauce you're making. It'll clump and it won't distribute. You want the water in there. So it doesn't matter how much water you use to a point. I mean, you want to make sure that you don't add a ton of water to the slurry because you're adding the water then to your sauce, which you're trying to get it from being watered down, so you don't want to overload this, on slurry. So just add enough to where it's, a liquid, and then put it in your sauce. Mix it up, let it cook off for at least a minute or two so you get rid of that starchy or that cornstarch flavor. And then, yeah, that's kind of it. Easy peasy. We may have to do that today. I don't have that much cream left, so if I don't, then I'm going to have to do that with some milk and a cornstarch slurry, which is fine. Totally got that. I knew that as soon as I picked it up. If we get to do that, then you get to see me do that. That's cool. If not, well, now you know how to do it. And we can always add to that later. One glass down. Ooh, let's finish that off. Okay. In 1 second, let me get some more wine. All right. Next one, 14 Hands. This is another good, cheap wine, 10 to 15 bucks. That's where my price point's at the moment. I prefer the $20 to $25 range, and there are a few $40 wines that I really love. But your boy ain't about that life right now. All right, so there we go. Done. Okay. Now remember, we are streaming again on Friday, but not on here. We're streaming on Twitch, Mondays and Fridays, every week. Okay? That's good. That's good. Anyway, it's another cap. I love caps. We're going to get to that chicken here in a second. Those are thick pieces of meat, so I'm really trying to let them cook. It's usually 3 to 5 minutes per side for those, for the chicken breasts, just so you guys know. Ooh, Lord of mercy! All right, let's check our chicken. Starting to look good. Not quite ready. It's a light brown. I think we could use a little bit more time on it. Now, that pan is starting to get hot, the handle. So if we need to, we'll use our towel or some pot holders to try to grab it. It's an oven-safe pan, so the downside of oven-safe pans is it's a metal handle without the rubber on it, so it gets hot. So just be careful. I prefer those because being able to pop your food directly into the oven to finish it off is so freaking useful. And that's how restaurants do it. They're all just these aluminum pans. In fact, that one I got over there, other than the fact that it's nonstick, is from GFS along with a couple of my knives. And I think I went on a rant last time about that, and it's so freaking useful because they cater directly to restaurants. They opened outlet stores so private citizens can get them, well, non-restaurants can get them, but that's where they started. And they still do. GFS and Cisco are the two primary people that cater to restaurants. You know, they sell them their food and utensils and whatever else in bulk. So, all right. So, anyway, that's it. Oh, loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful and everything that you do. Let me go check the stream one more time, all right? I'll be right back. Alright, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, my chat feed's not showing up in OBS. Alright, well, deal with it later. I'll figure it out. Let's do this. Let me open up a... Give me 1 second, guys. Promise. Just waiting for my poor PC to load up. There we go. Cool. Awesome. Alright. That way I can just have the chat up here. Let's pop out the chat. Awesome. Alright. It's a good workaround here. There we go. Okay, cool. That way, in case anybody actually shows up, I'll know what they're talking about. All right, here we go. Perfect. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Look how fucking brown that shit is. Nice. All right. The water in the back is boiling. At this point, I'm going to start adding the noodles in. So, one of the things I want to do with the noodles, let me grab another drink here. Interesting, different. Okay. So, one of the things I like to do with the noodles, especially with spaghetti noodles, is they're too long by their own. So what we do careful, these things are gentle, they're breakable. Alright, so we'll take them and we'll break them into the pot. That way they're a bit more, I just burned my hair. They're a bit more, you know, they're easier to eat, that's what I was going for. Oh my gosh, so I had a dream the other day that my fiance was cheating on me. Have you ever had one of those dreams? Oh my god. You know what? I'm doing it again. I'm just gonna make them. No. I'm just gonna do one more. That's all we need. This is a lot of pasta. So I about did it again. Problem with cooking drunk is that you get really impulsive. But man, I love cooking drunk. Okay, so that's gonna be our starch. Our Cobb sauce. Let's see. Let's bring this back up. All right, and then we got to make sure that you stir this around because they'll start to stick. So just be active until it gets back up to temperature. And then once you get that roiling boil again, it'll keep them from sticking because it's going to move that stuff around all the time, okay? All right. You know, I'm not a huge fan of that. It's tart. Maybe it's because it's on the hands of that, or on the back end of that other one. That other wine. The other wine was much better. I don't know. We'll give it a little bit. All right, so how to reduce the calories on this? Other than the milk, that's really the only way to do it. Now, if you're doing low carb, you don't necessarily need the pasta at all. You can just eat this straight up along with some kind of veg. Broccoli pairs really well. Green beans will do real well. If you do zucchini the right way, it'll probably work really well. Maybe even sauteed zucchini. I think all those would probably pair fairly well. Depends on what you do to them, but we're just talking shock and blanch. So shock and blanch is, the blanch is the boiling part, the shock is the ice bath. So the only reason you do that is because you want to make sure that it's not continuing the cooking process when you're done. So if you're not going to serve it, like if we prep in the restaurant, we make things well ahead of time. So we'll prep a bunch of broccoli and then shock it in an ice bath so that it doesn't cook any longer, and it immediately stops the cooking process. Then we can take that and then serve it later just by reheating it. Usually steaming it or putting it in the microwave real quick, that kind of thing. But it's cold until we're ready to serve. It's just one of the tricks. One of the tricks to make cooking quickly and how you get your food in 15 minutes or less is because we prep as much as possible beforehand, well beforehand. So normally there's ebb and flows to a restaurant's thing. Man, most people know this, but and I'm just talking to fill time. You got your prep in the morning, and then your lunch rush, then prep for the evening, and then your dinner rush, and then clean up. So that's usually your day in a restaurant. So most of the time, that's what you're looking at. Prep your morning. Morning crew does the prep work, which there's something soothing about doing prep in the morning. I don't know, because you're left alone. There's nobody asking you to do things. You usually come in a couple hours before the restaurant even opens. So usually you're just by yourself, listening to music and prepping a lot of freaking food. Some of it's cooking, most of it's cold work, like cutting and dicing food, stuff like that. But I don't know, there was something, maybe we made bread at the last restaurant I was at, which was Bon Femme in Valparaiso with Chef Eddie Luke, who is now, he opened the Blue Point in Valparaiso, oyster and sushi bar. Really good food. Really good chef. Crazy as fuck, but really good chef. Shout out to you, chef. So now when we're done, since this is coming up, when we're done with our chicken, we're going to put it off here. I'm going to drain off the oil because we don't want all that oil. And then we'll build the sauce. And then we'll add our chicken back in. So, in case you guys are wondering, never, ever, ever put any kind of oil, cold, hot, or otherwise, into your drains. This is how you back up sewers. You back up your own drainage, as well as if you live in an apartment complex like me, you back up everybody else's too. And it comes back up. And now you got sewage water in your sink and bathtub and everybody else's in there. It's a shitty thing to do. So don't do it, all right? Put your oil in here, or better yet, put it in like the container you get it in, like here. Hang on. Here we go. So one of the things you can do is when you're done using this container, keep it and then put it wherever you're going to put it like under the sink or something like that, a place where you're not worried about getting dirty, and then use your old oil and put it in here. Now I have containers because it's a bit wider mouth, but if you got a funnel, you can make a funnel into that, that's fine. But that way, and then if you are really into it, you can find some place that recycles their oil, because oil can pretty much be used almost indefinitely. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. But at the very least, like most restaurants are going to have an oil dispensary behind them, so, dump it there. Or if you're not going to do that, then that way you can put it in something like this or that, and then bag it and put it in your trash. That way it's not going to spill everywhere, okay? Don't ever put it down your drain. Seriously. It's not good. You're going to regret it. All right. These, I believe, are about as done as I want them, because remember, I'm slightly undercooking them because I want to I want to not dumping everything out. All right, so because it's non-stick, there's actually not a lot of fond, this brown stuff there. That is flavor incarnate, okay? That is super concentrated flavor. We want to keep that. Now, to get that up normally, we would need to use a white wine. So we're going to turn our heat up, give it a second, and then we're going to use white wine to deglaze the pan. So deglazing is an industry term that basically means you're pulling up all, oh, wine break. So good. Actually, I lied. That's actually not that good. It's mediocre. How's that? Deglazing means we're going to pull up all of this fond off of the pan that we would normally have to scrape up. This is a non-stick pan, so it's not going to be as much and not as difficult. Now, we don't want too much. You want about a quarter cup to a half cup of this in there. Use, for those that are not wealthy, to use to be able to afford the really nice wine on there, which in restaurants you do. You use more expensive wine than I do, but use your cheap wine because you're just adding it into a sauce. It's kind of like when I was a bartender. The goal was to get money, right? So we would convince people like, oh, we'll get the top shelf version of whatever mixed drink you're talking about, like a Long Island. Listen, you ain't going to be able to taste the difference between a top shelf Long Island and a regular Long Island, okay? The regular Long Island, if you get the right night, it's going to be on sale for $2 to $3 a pop, which, by the way, has 2.5 ounces of alcohol in it, the most alcohol in almost every drink out there, so that's your money. But also, you're not going to taste the difference. So you're paying like 4 or 5 times as much, $20 for a drink versus 2, which is 10 times. Good math there, John. But why would you do that? Just because you can. I'm sure there's people out there that say, "Oh, I swear I can." That's just my Karen voice. I swear I can taste the difference. All right, if you got the money, please, by all means, your bartender will love you because they get more money. Because your tip's going to be bigger. Anyway. That's why you use cheaper wine. Now, you got to make sure you cook this off a little bit because you don't want to get drunk off your sauce. You get drunk off your wine that you drink. You don't want to get drunk off your sauce. Nor do you want to get your patrons drunk by eating your food. That's, the likelihood of that is pretty low, I'm sure. But still, cook it off because you don't want it to taste winey. You don't want that wine, the alcohol flavor in your food, okay? We are imparting some flavor to that, which is why I like doing this. You do not need to do this, all right? Technically. You should because, it's good cooking, why not? Fuck it. It's not a big deal. That was a $3 bottle of wine, Fuck it, why not? But I think you should try to impart, especially when you're trying to eat healthy, because fat is flavor, and if that's true, then you're removing a lot of the flavor by default in order to eat healthy. If you just want to eat whatever the fuck you want to eat, and we'll have days like that, then that's fine. But if you're actually trying to watch what you eat, then it matters what you put in your food. Fuck yes. Some days I really miss cooking in kitchens. I learned so much doing it. And I have a lot more to learn. Please don't think that I am the end-all be-all of cooking. I'm never going to be like that. Okay, so I'm going to add in my heavy cream. Yeah, see, I don't have that much. I know I'm going to need some milk and a slurry. So let's get that out now. Let me get my cornstarch up real quick. All right, we're going to need some chicken stock, otherwise we're going to curdle I'm using this to give some body to the sauce. Now I'm not adding, there is a variant on this, and I'm going to test the flavor later to see. Let's check our noodles, they're looking good, almost done. Maybe another minute on that. Let's add this up. And we're going to add our corn in. I'd add about a half a bag on that. It's up to you. I'm not adding this in. This is just me using whatever I have in my kitchen, to be honest. Okay, so we're going to need to bring this down. Okay, let's add in our milk. Probably going to need about a cup. Yeah, definitely. All right, now we need to make a slurry. So let me show you how to make a slurry. Fuck it, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna do it over here so you guys can see. So basically, I'm gonna probably do, let's start with a tablespoon. Okay, tablespoon. We'll add a little bit of water, just a couple drops. Let's add my little mini, just because I like using it. I have a little mini whisk, kind of like Babish, Cooking with Babish, which I think hopefully one day I'll have a following like him. Okay, so really this is it. That's kind of it. Okay, that's fine. There's not a lot of water in there, and it's fine. So we're going to add this to our sauce. I'm going to switch to a whisk. The whisks are dirty, so we use this one. At this point, I know this is hot. So you can see how watery it is right now. So we're going to cook it up and let that cornstarch cook off and watch it thicken up a little bit, okay? Now, we will probably have to do another slurry, but we're going to see. I'm not compensating for flavor yet, all right? We need to work on the slurry first. Do one thing at a time. That way you can control. As a geek, I'm big on the scientific method, so control one variable at a time and then start working on it, okay? Then start, and it allows you to dictate the outcome easier. If I started adding everything in, which you can, I mean, this isn't rocket science. I mean, we could totally add in the garlic, and I want to add the lemon and butter, all that stuff, but that's not true. Butter's last. But I really want to make sure that I do this first, especially since I'm trying to teach and explain these things to you. So I want to show you how to do one thing at a time. Okay? All right, let's go over and look at our thing here. I think one more. I don't like how watery it is, to be honest. Dynamite! All right, let's do this. We'll do the process all over again. Another tablespoon. Control, control, control. There we go. I don't need this cornstarch too much, so the thing's fairly full. All right, that's good. There we go. Oh yeah, my dream. I had a dream about the fiance cheating on me. I'm paranoid about her cheating on me. She is about me, too. She's had the same dreams. I think I've gotten more on her than she has on me. Excuse me. All right, let's... better. You should see an almost immediate change in the consistency of it. It's getting thicker. I'm going to do another one. I want it to be thick. It's up to you on the consistency you want. But I like it thick. This is a creamy pasta, so I think that this should be thick. Remember, if you add too much water to this, you can always balance it out by adding more cornstarch. Because this water is going to make a difference in there, too. That's why you don't want to overload it. I love my little mini whisk. I can see why Babish does it. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Can you tell that it's thicker? Now, this is going to taste bland as fuck right now. There's no salt. There's no nothing in here. We're just working on the consistency of it. That's perfect. Let's let that cook out a little bit. I think our, yeah, these are done. Our noodles are done. That needs to go up. Let's get our there. Coriander. Ollivander's one shot. Remember, watch your steam. Pour it to the side so you don't burn yourself, okay? That's awesome. Cool thing is that you can take this and put it in there for the moment, okay? Here, let's put it over here. Done with the milk. Yeah, see, look at how thick that's getting. That's perfect. Okay, let's drop the heat down so we don't burn it off. Remember, it's got cream in it, so that's going to burn real easy. Be careful, okay? Control your heat. That really is the basic of all cooking, okay, is controlling your heat. Let's check this out. Maybe a minute overdone, but good. That's not bad. All right, so now we're going to build our sauce. Lemon is one of the primary ingredients, so let's get it going. This is also why you want to make sure you get that in there first. Get your slurry to build first, because the lemon juice could curdle it if the milk is in there too much. I like a lot of garlic, so we're going to fucking roll that up. Let's add in. We're not doing the butter yet, okay? Now this might be an instance where there might be too much pepper before we get enough salt in, so we're going to be very careful, okay? There we go. Starting to look good. Give it a second. We want those flavors to marry in there. Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. I live my life by movie quotes, just so you know. Okay, not even close on anything. We want to taste the lemon, the butter, or the garlic, and the salt all at the same time, along with the creaminess of our... Now, be careful with the garlic. That takes a minute for that to incorporate into your thing. No matter what happens here, even if I don't taste the garlic, I'm not adding any more. That's gonna, the longer we cook it, which we are gonna cook it for about 5 or 10 minutes, it is gonna make that more garlicky. That's how garlic works, man. It's an aromatic, and that's how they work. I'd like to make some hummus next week. Oh, speaking of which, so hey, next week, on Monday, my buddy Sulkin, who is a Twitch streamer, he's also a friend of mine, he's going to come by and we're going to cook together along with his girlfriend. And then I believe on Friday's tentative, my buddy Peter is going to come by, and he is really good with Indian food, and we're going to have him show us some good, hopefully some curry recipes. Somebody's asking about that, so I'd like to incorporate some curry recipes in there too. I'm okay with it. I love Indian food, but I don't have a lot of experience with Indian food, and he does. So I'd like to learn from him, and that actually is going to be a big chunk of this channel, is learning from people that know more than me, because I'm a good cook, I'm a good chef, and I'm freaking amazing, hubris, but there's plenty of people out there that are better than me. You know, I'm never going to claim to be the best. That's not ever going to happen. I don't care if I somehow could figure out that I am the best. I'm still not going to do it. All right, let's check this out. Closer. Use more salt and pepper. I'm going to do just a little more lemon. Now the depth of the flavor is going to come from the butter, but we're going to use that. We're going to add it at the end, off the heat. Butter melts very easily, so there we go. That's it. We're also going to add the parsley, but the parsley burns very easily, so we don't want to do that right away. All right, this I'm going to add in to here, because I am going to need to add some... ooh, that's hot. Okay, let's get you in there. Some oil, just to keep it from sticking to each other. So if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just deal with sticky noodles. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just a question of presentation. So this will save you on calories, though, if you don't worry about the oil. I'm just trying to make sure they don't stick to each other. There we go. See? Yeah, let's do this. This is always much easier. Can you see? I know it's upside down. Fuck off. Okay? So it's adding a couple tablespoons of oil is gonna help out, keeping it from sticking to each other. Okay? Perfect. Okay, the corn is done, so that means I need to wash this colander out here. Another reason why home cooks should wash as they go, because ultimately you're going to run out of dishes. My mom, love my mom, I love her. However, when she cooks anything, she has to use every dish in the kitchen. to like literally every dish in the kitchen. I'm just like, what happened? And she may or may not, but it just looks that way because by the end of it, she doesn't wash her dishes as she goes along unless she needs the dish. So it's just so funny to see it happen because you're like, holy crap, what just happened to this kitchen? It's been destroyed. All right. Another cork board down because this is hot. This one I'm gonna just dump it straight in. Now if I wanted to, I could add salt and pepper to that, along with some butter, but I don't want to add calories to an already pretty heavy dish, because heavy cream is heavy, you know, hence the name. So I don't want to overload it, okay? So good. Okay, let's check this out. I want to give it a few more minutes, but we need to add our chicken in. Ooh-wee. That smells so good. I'm going to add this stuff in there because that's nothing but flavor, baby. Why get rid of that? That's them juices. She had a juicy booty. Alright, I'm going to do this real quick. We're almost done! And I will plate this bitch. Because why not? Let's make it look good, right? Woo-wee. My God, I love to cook. Okay. I added the heat up on this thing. We don't need this anymore. So let's start cleaning up our mess. All right. I'm going to add some salt and pepper in here because I'll forget later. I'll show you how I do it here. So this is the salt that I like. Kosher salt. Never use iodized salt. Not worth it. Seriously. Kosher, flake, doesn't matter. As long as it's not iodized, man. Seriously. There is very little flavor difference comparatively, as well as the mineral difference to like pink Himalayan and all these cool sea salts. Because remember, all salt is sea salt. A little bit more. Okay. Well, I need to get black pepper. I'm gonna add that to my list. Hang on. Where is it at? Oh, there it is. Okay. Black pepper. Why's it got to be black? And I need Dawn soap. Okay, cool. Drunk writing. So, now that we got that in there, 1 to 3. If there's ever a question of how much you should add, err on the side. Be conservative with the pepper. Be conservative with the pepper versus everything else. Everything else is fine. I'm sorry, I'm drunk and I'm fucking forgetting what I'm talking about. Salt is fine. You need the salt. The salt is the whole point of it. But the pepper is what really is going to overbalance it. So let's not go crazy with that. Where is my? Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm fucking drunk. So mix it up. You want an even distribution. It's not going to want to mix real well, so just make sure you go crazy with it. And there you go. That's about what you want to see. Okay? That's pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to, alright, so we're up to temp. I want to reduce that because I don't want to cook it off. Plus, remember, this is cream-based sauce. It will burn. Be careful. Control your temp. Control your heat, alright? I'm going to cover. I just want to cover. I am going to add, I lied, I'm going to add the butter now. Because I'm cooking cooking this in here, so I want to, I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons in there. Okay? You don't need to add the butter in there, but I would. You cannot underestimate the amount of flavor that butter is going to add in. Seriously, it is so worth it, okay? Trust me on this. You know, let's keep this MA based a little more. Normally I'd turn it off, and it's called mounting in butter. Mount. It's called mounting in butter, but you turn it off, and then you just kind of you swirl the pan around until the butter comes in. It gives it a really nice sheen and glaze over it. Plus, it adds a ton of flavor in it. Seriously, do not be afraid of butter. It is saturated fat, so you should be careful with it, but it does not mean you need to avoid it unless you have high cholesterol or some other metabolic medical reason to avoid saturated fats. Okay, that being said, definitely butter. Come on, man. It's 20 calories left as far as the fitness community is concerned. It's 20 calories left per tablespoon than it would for any other oil. They're like, oh yeah, extra virgin olive oil, safflower oil, flaxseed oil. These are all so good because they're high in alpha linoleic acids, which is true and also very important. Great oils to cook with, by the way. But it doesn't mean that they're only oils you can cook with. Okay, no need for it. 2 glasses down. Let's go for number 3. Hot damn! By the way, if any wine company wants to sponsor me, I would be more than happy to drink your wine. Alright, so let's get this stirred around a little bit just to get incorporated. Add a little bit more. We're only going to give it a few more minutes because we don't want to overcook the chicken. I just want some of the flavor, some part in there. And then for color, we'll add the parsley at the end. Normally, this is the point where I would ask people what they have any questions, but seeing as there's nobody in the chat, which is fine. This is only my second broadcast. I can't expect 50,000 people in here yet. So I'll just try to rant about something, I guess, in general. Let's stir this around just a little bit. Let's see. I went over who's the guest cooks. We're also going to do, I'd like to eventually, when I have a little bit more money from the stream, is to do a D&D version. So I'm a huge nerd, and I basically, let me get you in my face, because, I mean, I'm a ginger, we're sexy. So I don't believe half the shit that comes out of my mouth. I'm not this egotistical, I swear. God, I wish my fiance would. She's a very private person, and I respect that, but I would love to have her on here. First off, I freaking love her, clearly, because I'm getting married to her, but she's just the light of my life, and I love her to death, and I would love to have her on here because she's cute as a button, and we play really well off each other. We roast each other so bad. My neighbors must think we hate each other because we roast each other so loud. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? Anyway, what was I going to say? I don't even remember. Fuck it. Hermger! We got just a couple minutes left on this delicious fucking dip. Man, it smells so good. That's the best part about some of this stuff is that you can smell it. Yeah! Remember, next Friday, we're on Twitch. Noon, same time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, same time. Noon, Central Standard Time. Twitch on Monday, Fridays, and YouTube Live on Wednesdays. Eventually I will up my cooking schedule, but for right now getting drunk 3 days a week is fine. I had somebody on my stream on Monday and she was just like, drink! And I'm like, God, I'm so hammered. That's why I ended up with a bottle of wine in my gullet. Whew! Hot damn. Alright. I think we're good. I mean, I would love to cook it a little bit longer, but I think we're good. Let's get a good freaking view of this, man. Look at that. Look how sexy that is. So we're going to add some color. That's awesome. That's just dried parsley. I bought some parsley, cut it up, let it dry, you know, and that's it. That's all it is. Okay, let's dice it up. All right. So, turn this off, turn the heat off. Let's build our dish. So, for anybody that's into food photography, food porn like I am, white dishes are the way to go. So, the reason I'm doing this way, I'm not going to put the corn on the dish because it shouldn't be part of the dish. I'm just doing it because that's what I have in my kitchen. So, let's do this. Alright, that looks good. Now, I want to cut the chicken first, okay? So I'm not going to put a whole freaking chicken breast on there, all right? Corn does normally pair with chicken, but not with the dishes, not with this dish, okay? I'm not going to use the whole thing, okay? All right. Use this to grip. 10 points to Gryffindor if anybody can guess where that comes from. We're going to cut it on an angle. This should be really tender, which it is. You don't need to push, saw, okay? We're going to use half the chicken breast because it's a mutant. Let's put it on the side. I love plating. Let's use my fingers. Let's do this. There. All right. One way to plate this, oh, wow, that's really good, is to put the sauce underneath, but I want it on top. I want that sauce to be the centerpiece. Maybe about 5 tablespoons. You don't need to overload it. Look at that. Oh, wow, that's so good. Okay. And it's not a thicker sauce. The thicker sauces you can put underneath and make a cool pattern out of it. All right, let's put this over here. Hold on. I wanna clean off my board so I can get you guys a good look at this. One second. Let's wipe this off. I'm just doing this. This is obviously unsanitary, so in a restaurant we wouldn't do it. We would actually clean the board. But I'm just doing this so that I can get a good picture. Clean up the plate. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God, that looks so good. Okay, let's do this. Look. Doesn't that look good? What do you think? Now, obviously, you should have a veg with it, and a green veg would work great color-wise. But man, that looks good. I like it. That's awesome. Okay, we're done. Man, that was awesome. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining me, especially those that will end up watching it later. Okay, so again, just so you guys know, next week, we'll be back on Friday on Twitch at noon. Twitch.tv/drunkcooking. Much easier to remember than the YouTube link. And then next Monday, Solkin's going to be on my show. My guest, he and his girlfriend are going to be here. We're just going to get drunk, have fun, cook some dishes. And then hopefully Friday, I haven't confirmed with him, but hopefully Friday, my friend Peter will be here, who's going to show us some really good Indian recipes because he's a very good Indian cook. Until then, I will see you guys later. Let's cheers. It was been fun. See you guys. I remember Mr. Magic Man.